So, okay, so we're up to chapter 2. And our topic is next chapter, definition of support of the poor. Right? So, who is poor and what do you mean to support? Right? Very interesting. And okay, so A, definition of indigent in the past generations. And as we said last time, whenever I said many of us actually, according to this definition, can get what is it? Can get tzedakah. So let's see. In early generations, when society were agriculture in nature, and where standard consistent means by which poor were supported, right? So I mean in agriculture, everybody were living in the villages, and they would have produce, right? So they would support these poor people with produce, right? Besides that, the Torah prescribed gifts to the poor, leket, gleaning, shechicha, forgotten sheaves, peah, corner of the field, and other agricultural gifts, which the Torah obligates farmer to leave for the poor. Most city established system to take care of the indigent. So before we continue, because he's switching gears too fast. Okay, so let's go back. So Torah prescribes several gifts to the poor. First, even though he does not mention, but we know there is a Maaser Sheni in the 3rd and the 6th year. So you have to give to poor. It's 10% of your produce after you gave 2% to coin and 10% to Leib. So in 3rd and 6th year of 7-year cycle you give to poor, and plus every year they get leket. So what is the leket? If you have 1 stalk or 2 stalks of grain, they fell, you're not allowed. It's not like you should be good, you should be nice, leave it to the poor. You're not allowed. It's forbidden for you to pick up. Okay. Right, 1 or 2. If 3, you're allowed to pick up. Shechicha is forgotten sheaf. So meaning where you left the field, right, and then you realize, I forgot the sheaf. That's it. You're not allowed to come back. That's it. If it was your plan, it was beginning to rain, and you say, okay, you know what, I'll come back tomorrow. It's not forgotten, right? But if you forgot and then remember, so you're not allowed to come back. So they get the whole sheaf. So that's how the poor people know. And peah. So peah is a corner of the field at the end. So right. So you're not allowed to harvest. So you have to live for poor people. So and you're not allowed to help them. It's very interesting. They have to do it themselves. So when one person helps, he feels like it's his and he gives out. No, Hashem said, no, it's mine. And I'm telling you to give it to them. It's very interesting. So all of these things, right? And the other agricultural gifts, as we just mentioned, which Torah obligates farmers to live for the poor. Okay, most of the city established, right, system take care of the indigent. So, but since then, since we're kicked out from our own land. And when we live in exile, in most of the countries, they did not allow Jews to purchase the land. It's very interesting. Work as to rent piece of land or like a field or something, they would allow. Not always, but they would allow. Right. So they were basically most of the people did not have these agricultural gifts. Right. So they were living like in a city, more like a city life. One such a system was called Kupat Tzedakah fund, and every city had one. This fund was designed as follows. 1 week, selected Gabayim, charity collector, approached the people of the city and collect from every individual a sum of money that had been determined each was able to afford. Generally, this fund was used for the poor people of the town, and each indigent was given enough money for the 14 meals entire week. So it's very interesting, right? It's very, very interesting. So, and that's what we read. That's what I learned in in Europe, that's what they used to have, right? It was everything was organized, and even though the Jewish people were not very rich themselves, but it's like one of the obligation to support poor people. So all poor people had to sign up, right, to be supported. So basically, there are requirements in Shulchan Aruch that they have to live like 30 days in that city, or they had to move completely, like I don't know, like he established already in that city. It's not he's moving out, so that person is entitled 14 meals. So of course there's some basic meals, and it's very interesting. So on Shabbos we it should be 15 meals, right? On Shabbos we have 3 meals, not 2, but minimum requirement is for Shabbos, it's 2 meals actually. It's at night and in the morning. So that's how they calculated 14 meals, right? And they assess every person. It's very interesting. So we have to understand it was very sophisticated job, right? To assess how much each family can contribute. Right? It's not like today we have income tax, like income, you have numbers, and right, not everybody, like many people did not keep any records. So it's very interesting, right? So these Gabaim were were going around. I think on Friday morning or Thursday night, they would go around, mostly Friday morning, and they would collect money to give the poor people so they can prepare for Shabbos. Okay. Just one second. It was expected of those who had sufficient means to support themselves for a week, did not take from the fund. So only if somebody could not support themselves, they were allowed to take. So if person can make his end needs, right? So don't take, basically, right? Because everybody have to contribute, and as we said, people were not very rich. This process was repeated every week to help those in need. There was another system which was not established in all of in all cities, called tamchui. Right, charity plate. Money was collected each and every day from the townspeople by going house to house. Okay. People gave whatever amount they wanted, and this fund provided 2 meals for each poor person. So he would have food for that day. So the first approach is that they would collect money and to give the poor people for 1 week supply, right? At least, and this second approach is for 1 day. I think, like in my mind, the first approach, as we just said, it was more more popular because just give this poor person a break, give the money, so 7 days or whatever days he can feel secure and not worry about every day. So today they ate, for example, is second approach tamchui, right? Okay, today we ate, and what about tomorrow? Maybe they're not going to collect tomorrow. So it's a big pressure on these poor people. And this fund was used primarily to help the poor who came from other cities, since the poor living in a town was sustained by Kupat fund. Okay, very interesting. So this is actually, this tamchui approach was actually something extra, right, to support all other people. People, I'm not sure why, but it's in many books about all times, people are constantly going from town to town, and tell you the truth, I do not understand many times why would they go. I'm not sure. I don't know. Right? It was not stated for some clear reason. I understand somebody's traveling for business, somebody is traveling to see his relatives, but sometimes just people should just go. I don't know. Coming and going. I don't know. However, in the towns that did not establish a tamchui fund, the poor people from the other city would be supported from a kupa fund of that town. Okay. Together with what individual supplemented on their own. poor people were able to be sustained. So meaning this these poor people, and actually in many cities in Europe, at least that's what I know, right? They had like some kind of like motel or whatever, some not motel. What is it? Some like dormitory where people who could not afford the inn would stay. It's very interesting. And many times the community they were poor on themselves and they could not afford, so they would give them a place to sleep in a shul, in the women's section. It's very interesting. In the men's section, you're not allowed to sleep, right, because of the sanctity of the shul. But if you put the curtains, right, put the proper mechitza, so you will be allowed to sleep in the women's section, and that's how the mitzvah of kiddush on Friday night in a synagogue developed. Right, so in some shul until this day, it's actually in our siddur, right? Until this day, they do kiddush in a shul. And of course, the guy trying not to drink. They usually find the child to give this grape juice. No, nobody does it on wine, not grape juice, and give a child to drink. But if there is no child, I mean, so this person drinks or he gives to somebody else, doesn't matter, right? But this was established because of the poor people, because they would stay in a shul and eat in a shul, right? So that's kiddush was for them. Very interesting. Okay, continue. Since this cycle of agriculture gifts to the poor would renew itself every year, the rabbis determined that the definition of the poor person is one who does not have enough, listen to this, to live on for the entire year. So definition of the poor person, and I think maybe many people are poor. Of course, there are exceptions. So if you have a steady job, so there is a difference. So even though you don't have enough money until the next year. Me personally, I don't know many people. I mean, in my circles who can survive 1 year just living on the savings, right? Well, of course, there are such people, but I don't know anybody personally, right? So it's very interesting, right? So since it was on our agricultural basis from one harvest to another, so it's like you would have to be like sustained by this harvest, whatever you collected, until the next year, and that's how they calculate it. Furthermore, they established the amount of money one need the entire year to be 200 zuz per person. So 200 zuz is actually the amount of ksuba. So if the bride is virgin, that's what she gets in a ksuba, minimum. Okay, 200 zuz. And though the above mentioned system, and through the above mentioned system, one was able to receive that amount. Okay, so meaning like partially, whatever, this 200 zuz a year. Okay, consequently, one who did not have 200 zuz could collect the Torah prescribed gifts for the poor, in addition to assistance from the various funds of the cities. Right. So today, for example, it was one lady, right, that she was getting married, and we helped her to get married, Baruch Hashem. And she was not rich. I mean, her parents were, father passed away, mother did not want to do anything to do with her, and he was also like not. I don't know what his status. I don't want to say. So, but so they apply for tzedakah, for charity that does the weddings, right? That does the wedding for people who cannot afford, like basic weddings. So they like basic hall, whatever. I mean, they have, of course, connection. People like they donate for free. Maybe they just pay for cleaning. I don't know. I don't want to say, but still, like, it's very, very commendable of them, right? So it's actually fun that and these people did the whole investigation. I had to sign forms. They interview me like to prove like that she's poor. I mean, I was representing her side, so it's not so simple. I mean, I'm not sure how many people they interview and who had to sign up that she does not have funds, but that's what it is, right? So they say if you don't have 200 zuz, so you would need to so you will be able to collect all of these gifts. Gifts are agriculture gifts and plus in money. Okay. However, one who was capable of earning the limit was not permitted to collect these gifts. If he had the amount of money that was sufficient to enable him to engage in business, so as to earn his livelihood for the year. So meaning if you have a steady job, and it's maybe it's even less than 200 zuz, or like you're making your ends meet, so you're not allowed to take, right? It's only for a poor person. The rabbis determined the amount to be 50 zuz. One who did not have 50 zuz, so 1/4 of this, that was capable of working, one who did not have 50 zuz and was capable of working, was permitted to take that amount from tzedakah in order to try to earn the livelihood. So as I said, in olden days, they did not like choose to own land and did not allow Jews to go to many professions. So we are very limited, like to a trading, right? To buy and sell. So you need some money to start up your business. So this 50 zuz, right, to start up your business. So it's like more like a business loan, I would say.